I want to talk about Samkhya. Samkhya is the yogic philosophy. Yoga is the practice and Samkhya is the theory. They are two sister schools of thoughts. There's the six main orthodoxic schools of thoughts in India, the Shat Darshana. And they pair up. There's three pairs. The pair that we're interested in is Samkhya and Yoga. Samkhya is about the evolution of the universe, the evolution of your body from your mind. Samkhya is based on two principles, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is what we would call God, whilst Prakriti would be the goddess. Purusha is this unmanifested energy. The Purusha has all these divine qualities, what we would call God normally. Purusha is everywhere, is almighty, all powerful, is beyond our comprehension, beyond our thoughts, beyond this universe. We cannot grasp the concept of Purusha because it's beyond everything that's mental and material. Whilst Prakriti is Mother Earth. Prakriti is the evolution of the universe. Prakriti is always changing. Purusha never changes. Purusha remains the same. You could say that Purusha is your true self, your inner self. Purusha is the divine within you and within everything, within each cell, each atom. Purusha is what never changes, that what never dies, was never born and will never die. Was Prakriti. Prakriti is also eternal, but Prakriti is always changing, continuously changing. Purusha and Prakriti, it's about the genesis, the origin of creation, both the origin of the universe and the origin of you. Because the whole concept, just like all religions, it's about oneness. We are all one. God is one and God is everywhere. And this is what Samkhya, or it's also called the evolution of the gunas. I will talk about the gunas afterwards. This is what it's about, how everything is created, where everything is coming from. So there's, like with everything, we can try to explain things through mythology, through a story. So we could say that Purusha, being God, being the only one, suddenly sees Prakriti as the most beautiful woman. Even if this is not really as it is, but it's a way of explaining. So Purusha sees the most beautiful being, that's Prakriti, the most beautiful thing that he can even imagine. He has never imagined something so amazing because Prakriti is constantly changing. It's actually the potential of the universe. We're still before the Big Bang. So once Purusha sees Prakriti, Purusha goes closer to Prakriti and Purusha goes inside of Prakriti. And it becomes like this cosmic lovemaking. In some way, Purusha gets lost inside of Prakriti. And once Purusha is inside of Prakriti, because Purusha doesn't have any attributes, Purusha is just clean consciousness or beyond consciousness. So Purusha starts to believe that he is Prakriti. And this is just a story of how we are. Our true self believes that the true self believes to be your body and mind, your ego. So my body and mind, this is just my ego. You are not seeing my true self. My Purusha is deep inside this body mind of mine, which is my Prakriti. So for most of us, we think we're our body mind. We get so attached to our body mind that we suffer through life. So that's a way of explaining Purusha being inside of Prakriti and he cannot realize who he really is. Another way we could explain this relationship is as if Purusha would create this amazing, intricate labyrinth. This is not really as it is because Purusha doesn't really create Prakriti. They are both eternal. It's a way of explaining. Let's say Purusha creates this labyrinth or finds this labyrinth, and Purusha goes into the middle, the center of the labyrinth, and forgets who he is. And this becomes the cosmic joke. It's now your task as Purusha to find your way out of this maze, of this labyrinth. This is what life is about, to trace our way back out of this illusion, this Maya, samsara. Prakriti is Maya. It's the illusion. It's as if when you're dreaming, it's so vivid that you believe that your dream is real. And then you wake up and you realize the dream was just a dream. And this is just a parallel of how our life is. Our life seems to be so real. And then we die, and that's when we wake up and realize that life was just a dream. So, this is a story or a metaphor of evolution. Once Purusha mates with Prakriti, Prakriti starts revolving and it starts moving and changing, and the first evolution is known as Mahat, which is the universal consciousness. Mahat, sometimes it's called Buddhi, sometimes it's called Mahat, sometimes people would separate these both concepts, Mahat and Buddhi. Buddhi would be our individual consciousness, our highest intelligence, our discernment, our discriminative intelligence, where we can discriminate between what's true and what's not, between reality and illusion, between Purusha and Prakriti, basically. So, first evolution, Mahat and Buddhi, consciousness, but this is already Prakriti. It's not your true self, but it's what's closest to your true self, what's gonna allow you to wake up to your true self once we start activating our Buddhi, our highest intelligence. But Buddhi keeps on manifesting into Ahamkara. Ahamkara is our ego. It's the ego, the concept of ego of the I maker, the part of your mind that believes to be the doer. I am doing this, I am speaking right now. And this, within the Samkhya philosophy, this is just an illusion. We're never doing anything because Purusha doesn't do anything. Purusha is just the eternal witness. Purusha is just an observer. Purusha does not move, does not do anything. The whole evolution of Prakriti is due to the gunas, the interaction of the gunas, the three guna, which I will mention later on this video. So, Prakriti mates with Purusha, Mahat, Buddhi, comes out, the highest intelligent, evolves into Ahamkara, our ego, I maker, and this evolves into Manas. Manas is our reactive mind, our sensory mind. Our sensory mind is always looking for pleasure, and it's always trying to escape from pain. And this duality, this is the basic duality of life, the basic yin-yang. We're always craving for pleasure. We're always developing aversion or rejection towards pain or non-pleasure. And what we want to do, this is what all spiritual practice invites you to do, is developing equanimity, the holy indifference. Stop to react, craving pleasure or rejecting pain. This is the way that we get out of samsara, how we stop generating new karma. We generate karma. Karma means action and reaction. And that's exactly what we're doing, the basic reaction, developing craving or aversion. So this keeps evolving into what's known as the 5 karmindriyas and 5 jnanindriyas. The indriyas are organs. We have 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action. 5 jhana indriyas, jhana is knowledge, 5 indriyas of knowledge or organs of perception, and 5 karma indriyas, 5 organs of action, or 5 sensory organs, 5 jnanindriyas, or 5 jnanindriyas, organs of perception, going from the subtlest to the grossest, because the whole Prakriti is evolving from subtle to gross. We have hearing, we have touching, we have seeing, tasting, and smelling. Those are our 5 organs of perception. And we have also 5 organs of action, the 5 karmindriyas. Speaking relates to hearing, it's the grossest. It's said that the whole universe is created from your mouth, from your words. What we're saying manifests our universe. We need to be careful with our speech. So speaking first, karmindriyas, grabbing, being able to hold our hands, are our organs of action. Our legs takes us towards where our eyes see. And then our reproductive organs, our sexual organs, and our excretion organs. So it's 5 janindriyas, 5 karmindriyas, evolving. On the other side, we have what's called the 5 tanmatras and the 5 mahabhutas, which is the 5 subtle elements and the 5 gross elements that we're already familiar with, most of us. At least 4 of those 5 elements. So the 5 tanmatras, sound. Sound is the subtlest, also relating to the ears, relating to the mouth. We're going in that order, and each janindriya relates to a karmindriya, relates to a tanmatra, and relates also to a mahabhuta. So sound being the first one. Touch, not touching, but the element of touch, the second one. Third one, shape, what we see, shape and color. Then we also have taste. Taste is one of the most important things in life. And smell. The smell, the sense of smell, the aroma. This is the 5th, the grossest tanmatra. And we have also the 5 mahabhutas, maha meaning great, the big or gross elements, which the subtlest, akash. Akash is a concept that's normally translated as ether or space. I prefer even calling it emptiness or even heaven. Akash, air, fire, water, and earth. The 4 elements, but we also have the akash, is the 5th element that we don't use in Western concepts. But it's there, it's what contains everything else. So this is the whole picture of Samkhya. And this whole universe, which is your body and mind, your body evolves from your mind. The whole universe evolves from your mind. And the way it evolves is through the action of the 3 gunas. The 3 gunas, or triguna, are the gunas. Guna means attribute. It also means thread. Remember I mentioned the ahamkara, the I maker, the part of the ego that thinks is doing things. We are not doing anything. Everything is done by the gunas. This is the most difficult concept to accept, to grasp. So basically the whole universe is just the interaction of the gunas. The gunas are doing everything. They're constantly changing. They're constantly changing the interaction between them. So 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva relating to light, purity, intelligence. Rajas relating to passion, to movement. And tamas being inertia, ignorance. So it's 3 concepts that depend upon each other. What we want to do is make our life more sattvic, less rajasic, and less tamasic. This is the way out. And eventually also we want to get rid of the sattvic concept in the end. But what yoga and Samkhya invites us to do is to do sattvic deeds, to be kind, to be pure, to eat pure food, to drink pure water, to have healthy relationships, pure, truthful relationships, kind relationships. Rajas is movement, it's agitation. And we need this, else we wouldn't be able to move. But certain foods, like spicy foods, like onions, get our fire built up, and this can make us aggressive, this can make us judgmental. Those are rajasic concepts. We want to avoid that. But what we mostly want to avoid is the tamasic, the tamas, which is the ignorance. When slothness, when we are procrastinating, when we're just want to sleep all day, and we just see the dark side of life. Tamas is darkness. We could relate tamas to darkness, rayas to the sunset and the sunrise, and sattva is daytime, it's the light. So we want to do less tamasic things. Tamasic food is cadavers, meat, eating meat or eating very processed food. Those are tamasic foods. Taking drugs that make us sleepy, tamasic drugs that make us overactive, stimulants, rayasic drugs. We want to avoid these things and build up more sattva in our life. So basically, these three gunas constantly interacting. The gunas are they're doing everything because of our ego. Because of our ego, we don't want to accept that we don't do anything. We will leave. We believe we're doing, but it's just the gunas interacting. The gunas are constantly moving the whole universe, your whole body and mind. This is the most difficult thing to grasp and to accept. So basically what we want to do, we want to trace our way backwards. The whole Samkhya, this is called the manifestation, the bhakti. Bhakti is this manifestation of the universe, going from subtlest to grossest. And our path now is to trace backwards and engage into the mukti, the liberation, the path of liberation, the current of liberation, taking our senses inwards, our janindriyas, our karmindriyas inwards, our tanmatras and mahabhutas inwards, and tracing back our manas reactive mind, tracing back our ahamkara to buddhi through sattvic deeds. And this is the way out of this maze. This is how we can manifest our true self and wake up, the awakening, the enlightenment, the samadhi. This is what it's about, tracing back.